which has given me something to write about once I became a polished professional writer, so to speak. I'll just have everything as it has been. And it seems to me it was all planned out for me. I didn't have very much to do with it. You know, when I look back, I can see the pattern of how I have moved from one pattern to another. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be where I am today. I can see that.
So you think that your whole life evolved in that specific sort of mode to reach what you've reached today?
Yes. But not by my own planning.
No.
I've just been a drifter. It seems to have been mapped out for me by destiny or providence or fate or whatever you like to call it. There seems to have been a guiding hand beyond my control. I've just done what I had to do.
Have you felt that from the early years, John? Or is it just now looking back?
Looking back, I
see
can see
that.
the pattern of my life, how it has been. You know, I've even been made ill to make me think. Serious illnesses, or a serious illness, to make me think deeper and go into Shakespeare. You know, to identify with some of the tragic happenings in his works, you know, to identify with pain and suffering and sorrow and death and all the experiences of life. I've been made to think about these things and get them down.
Can you write at any time, or is there a certain time of the day that you feel that is the best time for me to write?
I don't have a timetable. I've always more or less written when I had the opportunity. This, having the time, has been my problem, more or less, after a day's work to write. But I was always prepared. I was ready to write, you know, ready to go as soon as I had my tea and a rest and a smoke. I was ready for a typewriter, you know. I even mastered the typewriter to get publishers to look at my work. They wouldn't always look at it in longhand, you see. I had to master the typewriter. Either that or pay a typist in Aberdeen to type the article for me, which reduced my reward financially, of course, from the work.
This has been a pretty busy place that time.
It was a great place at that time. All the big bugs get here, their parties and everything. It'll be a big mess himself.
Aye. And your father was 40 year at Cowfords?
45 a year.
45 year at Cowfords?
45 a year in your crafty. Careful, easy, careful.
School days. I went to school in 1920 and left in 1930. I have happy memories of Stricken School and maybe lots of different stories that I can mine on. The headmaster, Mr. Skinner, was a bit of a character in those days. He had a law in Tlamsale and he was Irish. As bairns, whenever he appeared into the playing field, everything stopped dead. The lassies laid down their skipping ropes, the loons stupid, playing football, and everybody lined up and saluted him. On a Friday, he was often away at EIS meetings or League of Nations meetings, and if he appeared in the morning with his tail hat on, there was great relief because he was going away with the 10 o'clock train or the 1 o'clock train. But if he came with the soft hat on, he wasn't going away, or he'd maybe appear at dinner time with the tail hat on.
There was a stricken farmer, a great worthy, and he liked a good dram. He was coming home in night for the pub, and he had to pass the kirkyard. Some of Scrooners had made up beforehand that they were up here, and he on 5 sheets and come out and scare him and see if they could stop him and get down to Bob's coffin. So he's coming wandering up the road singing till I'm sailing. Out they dances and all round about him and danced in the road, and he blinked at him a while and he says, "Is this the resurrection? Or is you lads just out for a dander?"
Oh, Well, there was a wool mill up,
Oh, yeah.
Kenholm Mill. Now, you mind about the blankets out there to dry?
Well, it was a wool mill, a wee bit out of the village. It employed a lot of people. They went up, they walked up every day, early in the morning, and they made blankets. They hung them out on fences to dry. They bought the wool, the farmer brought in his wool from the sheep to get his blankets made, and hung them out there to dry. And they also made heavy tweed, which made into kersey trousers for working on the land.
Did a shop in the village, mate?
They did a shop in the village where they could sell their stuff.
The name was Vars.
The name was Varsity, yes. And there was also a meal mill. The farmers brought in their oats to the miller, and he ground their meal for them because they lived on oatmeal and milk and stuff was grown in the land. And we used to go up and buy our oatmeal. The village people went up with a pillow slip and carried home their oatmeal from the meal mill.
It must have been a busy time during the markets.
It was a very busy place.
Aye.
There was a
Alfie Cooper made thrashing mills.
Oh, they made thrashing mills in Strichen.
Yes.
yes.
Aye. Far about was that, Dean?
Well,
It was a street. Little mills, not the huge mills, but small farmers. Farmer bought these mills and they did his own thrashing sometimes. And then there was the new mill brewery for James Mickey. Made ale. He got thrown, the man went through the country selling his ale.
Oh, of course, there was a busy brewery at Strichen, wasn't there?
Well, there was, like you said,
Aye,
up
aye.
the Brewery Road.
Aye, aye.
The road's still called the Brewery Road.
I get up to the surgery. When I get down, and the doctor says, "How are you feeling, Mr. Crapney?" "Oh," I says, "I'm like a chap that gets sick." And the doctor examined him in Iowa, and he couldn't see nothing of the way. And he says, "What do you think's wrong with yourself?" "And again, doctor," he says, "but if anybody's at work, if a cold sweat goes up my back."
You'll be getting yellow.
Even die daar is veilig, you know. They were speaking about ghosts, and I told them that I saw in there, and they got off a phone. I was going to walk up to my work at Brookside, and I had been up through a little party, and there was ghosts at that firm. Well, they said there was. And I was looking up through this party, and there was something waving back and forth like that. No, I said, here's my ghost. And I wondered if I would just stuck to my heels and ran for what I was walking. No, I'll just wrestle along, let it be. I was a while bad, but I plucked up courage and I get back. Gravel's on a bit, and then I stops and nothing, blood yelling. And I says, here goes, and I travel dressed up. And there was a girl shade at the corner, and when I was near up at it, there was 2 young horses. Oh, that's 2 claps, like we call them. They were young horses. And there was one with a white face, and the window was broken, and that speed was out, and that was clawing its neck on its side. And I didn't know, again I ran, I saw a ghost that next. That morning. There was a minister and his beetle both like it a drum. They were away one day, and they had been a drop too much. So the minister says, we'll go home, John. We'll go stop before we go to the house. And I'll walk backwards and forwards, and you tell me if I'm going straight. So the minister said, backwards and forwards, and he says, how am I doing, John? He says, not so bad, minister, but how the hell's that with you? I think it's what it is,